guys, because you really don't know this, ladies, or you may see it already, but we're absolutely surrounded by greatness. So we've got both coaches on here. We've got Coach Rowland, Coach Palmer, and they do a lot together. They collaborate together, but to be trained by them is like, I'm super excited for this. Can't wait to hear from both of them. And Todd, I greatly appreciate you jumping on here. I know how many Zooms you're doing in a day. Same with you, Coach Palmer, and appreciate both of you. So I'll be quiet, but we're recording, and I just appreciate your time.
Awesome, awesome. And just for background noise, Andrew, if you'll mute out the lines.
Got it.
Okay, awesome, everybody. I'm just going to kick it off. And also we got Christine McKay, our general manager, is going to be sitting in just on the backside. Christine is somebody that we will introduce you guys to, you ladies to, whenever you see fit. But Christine is an amazing resource for us with our company, does a lot. And so she'll be tuning in too, just sitting and listening to the comp plan. But I just want to share this with you. First of all, congratulations. So many people joining daily with you. And the name of our company, Partner Co., is meant for one reason. We truly want to be a partner. Like, we want to lean in. We want to be able to help you. I was on the phone last night with Sheila, just talking through and answering questions. And what you got to understand from this company is, we all came from a past, right? I came from another company. Coach Todd Rowland came from another company. And so as we lean in, one of the reasons I'm so excited for you to hear from Todd Rowland is we started Partner Co. with a lot of different companies that we had purchased. And so we brought together. And the most lucrative, we could have chose any compensation plan to start Partner Co. with. We could have chose the Limu companies. We could have chose Miranda's. We could have chose all these companies that we now own. But what we chose to get this compensation plan. It has the highest payout. It's voted the #1 compensation plan in the industry. And Coach Todd Rowland has been a part of this compensation plan for 11 years. And I just want to preface this because you know how, building at your level, how hard it is to create a culture of people blurring the lines of sponsorship, people helping each other. And so Todd has really helped to create that culture in an amazing way with this company. And so him coming on today to just share the compensation plan is, that's awesome, because there's nobody that knows about the compensation plan and has worked inside of it any more than Todd. But his heart to blur the lines of sponsorship and just help the company grow. He's one of the founders of the company. Todd and his amazing wife, Ashley, has earned probably somewhere in the range of $30 to $50 million in the industry. I mean, massive builders. But what I love is their heart for helping people. People ask me all the time, why are you partnered with Todd and Ashley? Because they're legends in the industry. They're people that just are the most ethical, and they're just the people you want to lock arms with. And so that's the reason I partnered with him. And so without further ado, I want to give him the time. Coach, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing the compensation plan with these amazing builders. And we're fortunate to have them with us. And thanks for being on.
Absolutely. Hey, Andrew, can you make my other one, the one I don't have my camera up on, can you make that co-host too? Listen, so ladies, #1, welcome. You could not have found a better company on planet Earth to look at, but we've been full-time in network marketing for 22 years. I was a high school football coach like Brent. I'm not nearly as talented as Brent. Brent just hasn't had as much time in the industry as I have. He's way better at this than I am. He's crazy good. I'm never happy about a leader having to change companies. I'm always happy to get one, but I'm never happy about it, because we all enter this industry to create financial independence for our families. And when they make bad decisions at the top that affect that, like I'm never happy about that because it happened to me one time. I've only ever been in two companies my entire 22 years in the industry. And the first company, we built, started part-time. I was coaching high school football, but we built all the way to $250,000 a month. And I woke up one day, I was actually at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and I got this thing that we all had to get on a conference call, and the company was going away. So, and we'd saved a lot, but also when you move into that type of income, you do, at least I did dumb things. I had airplane, pilot, 3 houses. One was 18,000 square foot. So I got put behind the curveball. And it was really strictly, in my opinion, by the grace of God that I chose right when we made the move. I had offers for money from about 12 or 15 companies. Some of those offers were really big. And I went to a company that didn't give me a penny because I believed in their products. I believed in their philosophy. And once I studied their comp plan for a while, there was nothing else long-term because no matter what they were going to pay me, I was bringing leaders that had to make money. So like my business would go to zero. So it didn't matter what the upfront money was. You've got to have a solid foundation. I will tell you, Partner Co. is the unicorn that I've always looked for. And it was really a miracle. Brent alluded a little bit to the different companies that all kind of merged together. And then John and Darren came in and bought it in whatever it's now been 18 months ago. And we launched Partner Co. in February, but it set up this unique scenario that you've got official license in 58 countries. And every one of those countries is $3 to $5 million to open. You've got 100 products already R&D'd and in the marketplace with all the clinical study research behind it. You've got now we haven't heard official figure yet, but we're well north of 300 million. I don't know if we hit 400, but somewhere between 300 and 400 million revenue. And we do have it confirmed that we had profitability this year. So you've got a profitable company that has zero debt. And in 2024, no startup can ever do that again because it's too expensive to expand around the world. So the reason it's a unicorn is you got this brand new company, you got all this revenue that allows them to do the things we need, and you've got the products already done and everything's real. So it's a brand new company nobody has ever heard of. That's a startup that's already funded like an Amway. I mean, it's unbelievable. So all we got to do now is go build our part. And what I'm going to do for you today is go through the comp plan. And I'm going to go really slow. I don't want this to be run directional at all. So anything that Brent or Andrea want to add in, or Michelle, and anything that, or Cynthia, anything that anybody wants to ask, slow me down. Just tell me what you need to know. It take us like 20, 25 minutes probably. We paid a bunch of ways. I'm not going to go through them all because until you master the four big ways, the rest of it will just confuse you. You guys are already in network marketing, so I don't have to establish anything. So let's start here. So obviously we have, like any company, the retail profit. I think we're really unique on the retail side because we can buy things in bulk and in some cases double our money. So for example, we'll use the Skinny Drops. That's our foundational product. But the Skinny Drops can be bought for $870. You'll understand in 1 second. You're going to get $150 back in the pay plan. So you're down to $720 plus shipping and tax. So let's use the most expensive state. Move it to $800. So you got $80 in a box, and they retail at $176. So you double your money plus if you retail it. But a lot of people, I think, Michelle, what do you sell the Skinny Drops for? $150?
Yes, $150.
So at $150, you've got a $70 profit per box. And you guys know that have been in the industry that quick money in people's hands is more beneficial than any amount of training we could ever give a person. So I always say, make them money and get them to a big event. That's how you get somebody to stick and stay. So this cash flow with buying the stuff in bulk and selling and collecting daily on the cash apps is unbelievable. And we haven't even tapped into what is ranked #1 in the world by Better Business from Home as the #1 compensation plan, but it plays a part in it. So I wanted to identify that, and then we'll go now to the pay plan. So it's $30 one time. There's no reoccurring anything business-wise in our business besides $30 one time, no even yearly renewal. So you have to order at least 200 points of product to qualify your business for income and a 15% discount. They're going to give you everybody 30% the first 28 days, no matter what. First 4 Fridays is actually how it rolls. But to lock in 15%, you got to order at least 200 points of product. Generally speaking, it's $1.50 per point. Can get a little less, can be a little bit more, but that's the general. And that's the starting point probably for 80% of the people. But a person very quickly wants to work up their business levels. You can buy it. But in today's world, with this system we've got with Skinny Drops, you basically sell your way to Ultimate that first month. And Brent's gonna teach you the system of how you're gonna drive all your new people to Ultimate, because it's the most lucrative place to place an order. But I'm gonna skip Business and Elite and go right to Ultimate, because if you understand Ultimate, you'll understand the other two. So you start with whatever you want to, but let's say you started with 200 points. The computer system will do it for you automatically the first 4 Fridays. Any order that you make personally or any customer you sell a product to through the system, every volume point being sold up until 1,500 points does not pay you, but it does count for your business level. So if you sell or buy 1,500 points in that first 28 days, you'll lock in Ultimate. Where we're really different than most companies in our industry, you do not have to requalify. Once you achieve Ultimate, you are locked for life. There is no yearly anything here. So once you get Ultimate, you now lock in for life 30% on anything that you personally do through the company. So if you sign up a new brand partner yourself, personally sponsor them, everything they're buying or selling for 28 days or until they get to 1,500 points pays you 30%. But so I know y'all have seen the system with the Skinny Drops. We order them by the 10-pack. So once we make Ultimate ourselves, we place all of our orders on somebody we personally sponsored. And the system does it for you. We're not manipulating the system. It actually does that in the shopping cart for you on page 2. You'll just change it to a brand partner you just sponsored, and the pay plan is going to pay you back 30%. So that 10-pack of Skinny Drops is $870, but 500 points. So that's where I get that 150 back in the pay plan. You'll get 30% of 500 back, or $150. And I'll pause there in case anybody wants to add anything or ask anything. Okay. Our auto ship is very simple. It is 100 points or $150. You must have it to get the full 30% discount and be able to bulk buy at those discounts. And you must have it to get your Friday paycheck. You're also going to hear in just a second about carryover volume. You must have it in place for carryover volume. But here's another thing that's really different. If you turn it off, or if someone turns it off, there's no punishment. Like they're not kicked out of the company at any time frame. They're always there. And all they got to do one day, if they want to go back to work, is turn it back on. And right when they turn it back on, they just go right back to work, start getting paid, and their 30% discount comes right back in. Any questions on auto ship? Okay, so you're going to be paid 9 ways. We've talked about the first 2, the retail profits, and that new volume bonus is that 30% you're going to make back in the pay plan. So the third way now moves into the part that y'all did not have in Rodan Fields, nor did I have. I was telling Sheila this in Jackson, Mississippi, that my first experience was a unilevel only compensation plan. So the binary world was brand new to me too, and it took me a minute to grasp it. Although we have a unilevel too, we're not a binary. We are a multifaceted pay plan that pays us all every way. We have a unilevel and a binary running in combination on top of each other. And we're not a binary because you can build as many legs as you want, but that begins on base commissions. So the way it works is when you join, you've got to start a minimum of 2 legs. And you're going to be paid on, understand this, if this is the first time you're seeing this, you're going to be paid on every leg. You can become a millionaire here if you only have 1 leg. But this area of pay requires 2 legs or more. And the way it's going to work from what people would call a binary, if you're only building 2 legs, you'll be paid 15% of every transaction that occurs without exception. And this is also very different from a lot of companies. Some companies don't count signups as transactions because they're paying out, a large money to whoever sponsored them. We do too, 30%, but it still pays the same 15% in base pay. So sponsorships, customers, random orders, everything counts. And if you make an order through your own website, which there's no reason to ever do that because it's not the way to maximize the pay plan, but if you ever did, it auto balances into your weaker leg and pays you 15%. So if you've got 2 legs growing, everything that's occurring anywhere in the world pays you 15% of whatever volume points is attached to that particular product. This time of day, it's the only time of the day this happens, but this time of day, I've got one window in this game room I do my business in, and that sun hits me at this time of day. Sorry about that. And But here's where we really, really, really shake things up. You can build as many legs as you want. If you're ultimate, you'll have 5 on day 1. And I get asked a lot of times, how many should you build? So I've been doing this 11 years. And for the first half of that 11 years, I started everybody with 2 legs because we all know as leaders, the secret to our industry is making people money. So with 2 legs, I can make more people money. However, I found out some things along that journey that switched me now that I start everybody with 3 legs. And the number one thing that I found out is people that have not been in business before, when those legs switch on them and their pay changes week to week, it messes with their mind and some cannot overcome it. Because everybody does that early on. I mean, we all know we can't have 20 legs running full speed on day 1. You got to do 1 at a time and start combining them together. So I like starting people with 3 because the way the compensation plan works, you're paid 15% of every leg you ever build. So you start with 5, but you can earn them from there. And I'll explain that in a minute, how you earn more, but you can end up building 20 legs. So if you built 20 legs of business, you'd be paid 15% unlimited of 19 of the 20. So this illustration shows 3 legs. The biggest leg had 4,800 points. Leg 2 had 4,000. Leg 3 had 2,000. So you're paid 15% of leg 2 and 3, or $900 in base commissions for the week. Any questions or any comments? Okay. This is where, oh, by the way, I will show this one page right here. It's kind of hard to see. I've actually got to put my glasses on to see it. But your back office under My Money, there will be under, if you go to your back office and click on My Money volume, it'll run this for you. So I don't know whose back office I'm in here, but somebody's. And so it runs this on real time. So the reason you've got to know where this is you're going to go and look. So like as I look at this person's back office, that week right there, it says base commission of volume 13,334, leg 2 is 1224, leg 3 is 9177. You see they've got leg 4 and 5 they're not building yet, 0 in each leg. So what that tells me is when I sign somebody up personally, I need to go put them at the bottom of leg 2 or leg 3 because leg 1 that week is the biggest. Any questions on that? And Brent and Andrea have that mastered. You'll never have a question. Use them until you master it yourself. But here's where the stupid money starts. And another reason I chose this company when my previous company went away, because I'd never seen anything quite like this. Our previous company, and our company does too. Our partner co does the same thing. We have a thing called the Founders Club that's really undefined. Like you get there and you get an override, but that override is random with our company too. It's very random. And the previous company I was in, we had what was called a presidential pool. And it was completely random. I didn't even know what to tell people they made when they got there. So when I saw this built into the compensation plan, I was like, bingo, that is perfect because now there's no randomness. There's no favorites. It's just, you just earn your way into the bonuses. So what Partner Co does is they set aside 3% of worldwide revenue weekly. And all you got to do is meet a requirement and you get shares in the bonus pool. But the more legs you get qualified for bonus money, there's an exponential factor to the amount of shares you get. So I'm going to explain that now. So this is the same screen as you saw before. So I'm going to go back and just let you see it again. So we start leg 1, leg 2, leg 3. You're paying 15% unlimited of the lesser of the legs, every one but the biggest. But here's where it starts getting nuts. We have a magical number of 13,334 volume points sold for the week. The reason that's a random looking number is because you multiply that times 15% and you're going to be paid $2,000. And when you do that, our terminology is called optimization. Doesn't matter if you know terminology. I hate network marketing terminology anyway. I just always tell my people, when you make $2,000 in a week in base pay, you're going to get extra money in the bonus pool. And this is not a set number because it's running weekly. So Brent could tell you too, I think that first income position is what you call the first 2 legs. I think that's about $450 a week now, Brent. That's about right, isn't it? Maybe $475?
You're right. Yeah, about
Okay.
$450 a week.
Okay. So if you make 2,000, you won't get 2,000. You'll get 2,000 plus 475. It'll show up in a different area of your paycheck. So, that's a $2,000 monthly bonus for not doing anything different. All right, this is the confusing part. There are two different bonus pools, the income position bonus pools for your first two legs, but that's an income, what we call an income position. After that, it's called a pay line bonus pool. So the first pay line is actually your third leg. So you don't get a multiplier effect. And that number is actually wrong on this screen. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna fix it real quick because I always forget to go back if I don't correct it. It's the same number on that third leg. So if you get three legs that all did at least 13,000 in volume for the week, 13,334. Your first one is your power leg. The second one is your income position. You'll get 2,000 plus 400 or 2,400. If you get a third leg to do it, it's another 2,000 and another 450 bonus. That is all cumulative. So if I have three legs growing, doing 13,334 a week, I'll be making 4,000 in base pay plus 850 in bonus money for the week. So I'm at $3,000 a week. And this is only half of the pay plan. This is not even the big money yet. All right. So then you keep going. And this is where the multiplier effect kicks in. Because from the
Hey,
third
Todd.
leg, go ahead.
All right, so back up for just a minute. So to simplify, if you have two legs optimized, 13,334, and let's pretend that they're doing that every week. What is that income for the month again? About
I
approximately.
did that and only that the first 6 years I was in this company because I have four kids that were all playing sports in high school and I went back and coached again for free. And my total paycheck for that 6 years was right around $250,000 to $300,000 a year.
I'm
on
in.
optimization
Okay.
of two legs.
Thanks. It's good.
But in this part of the pay plan, it's mathematical certainty. It's 2,000 plus this week $450 in bonus money. So $2,450 a week is what you'd be paying in this area pay plan. So that's about 120,000 if you add it all up, maybe a little bit more than that in this area. Okay, the third leg is going to move you to somewhere between 350 and 600. It'll depend on this last area of pay that's unpredictable. And the fourth leg can get you to $1 million. But in this area, I'm going to give you the exact science because this area pay, there is no guesswork here. So the fourth leg, you start getting the multiplier effect on the bonus money. And this is the reason, like, it's not even supposed to put a spouse in. I mean, legally, you're not supposed to, but a lot of people do. Nobody really checks it. But I always tell every couple, I can make one position a lot more money I can make two. Now, if you want to put one in just to get in the way, so be it. But we're going to drive one business because this multiplier effect on the bonus money, nothing we do can outrun that. And you're about to see that on the next page. So if you get a fourth leg to do it, it's another 2,000. So the first two legs are from a different pool. So 2,000 plus 400 on that leg two is always going to be there. But the bonus money from leg 3 forward replaces the previous one. So if you get the fourth leg going, you'll be getting 2,000 each of the three legs, or 6,000 in base pay. You'll get the 450 on that first two legs, but that fourth leg now, the bonus money jumps to 2,400 and it will replace that 450 on the second leg. So total math, 2,000 leg one plus a 450 bonus. I'm sorry, leg two, as you look at on the screen. Leg three, 2,000 by itself. Leg four, 2,000 plus a $2,400 weekly bonus. It's all weekly here. But this is your math over time. Now, everybody may not do this. I haven't done it yet, but I now have now that I got these new owners and I understand this company's going long-term and the unicorn I've always looked for, I'm back crazy working again like I was when I built the first $250,000 a month check. So my goal is to build at least 8 legs because if you can see the math there, that's only bonus money. You're getting 2,000 per leg in base pay. So if you build 8 legs at 16,000 a week in base pay, every one of those bonuses replaced the previous one. So if you have 8 legs growing, it's 16,000 a week in base pay plus a $28,600 bonus as it stands today. Actually, that's bigger because all these back were when it was $400 a share. Now it's like $450 a share. So probably more like 35,000 a week now in bonus money. All those numbers you see there, 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8, I don't teach that to nobody because I don't even understand myself. But that's the multiplier effect on the shares. And I could explain it if I was forced to, but it does you no good. Just know the numbers. All right. Third way we get paid. This works in conjunction with your base pay. And it's in lieu of what a lot of companies do with car programs. So every single week, the computer system checks to see what you made in base pay. As long as you make $250 for the week or more, you get a 15% match put into a savings account with a weekly cap of $500. So they'll match up to an additional $500 a week in your savings account for life. You cannot access this savings account until it reaches 10,000. It'll grow on real time right in front of your eyes every time you log in. When it hits 10,000, just like they called Andrea and just like they called Brent, they'll call you, congratulate you, make a huge deal, lots of recognition, and you'll get that $10,000 in addition to whatever your weekly check was. It'll just be an extra check that week. And then from that point forward, once a month, on every fourth Friday, you'll get, today was actually savings account day. So today, instead of Andrea just getting her normal paycheck, Andrea got her normal paycheck plus whatever she accumulated last month in the savings account with a $500 weekly cap. So probably Andrea's right at or maxing it out. So she got an extra $2,000 today put in her check. So basically every leader here gets an extra $2,000 every fourth Friday over on top of whatever they're making, savings account money. So a lot of our younger people make that a car program, and you can find some of our younger people in Ferraris and Rolls Royces and all kind of stuff out there on the West Coast, because at $2,000 a week, I'm sorry, $2,000 a month, you can afford a decent car. So these are just all normal people, just like you. They, there's Andrea and her kids. All right, last way we're paid. And before I tell you how this works, I'm going to give you an example. My sponsor, who Brent knows, Andrea knows him too. He's a drunk. I like him. He's a super nice guy, but I would never, and I have never put him in front of a soul to show the business to, because he's just different. And he's only ever built 2 legs of business. He only makes $2,000 a week in base pay, but the dude is spectacular at finding leaders on social media. So he hit us here in the United States. He didn't get me. He was smart enough to know he would never be able to get me, but Tim Sells and I have been lifelong friends. I've sold a bunch of CDs and stuff through his company, my previous company. So he had Tim reach out to me. So I didn't even know that Tim wasn't my sponsor. I'm on Tim's second generation. I didn't even realize that till like a year later. But but I'm on Steve's first generation, and Steve hit another leader in Europe that was also a big player that went crazy. So Steve's weekly matching check ranges between 27 and 35,000 a week, and his base pay is only 2,000. So this is the part of the pay plan that I can never tell you what you're going to make in, because it's going to depend on what leaders you hit closer to you, because this is the unilevel part of our pay plan. And here's how it works. Anybody that you personally sponsor, no matter where you place them, and this will be the hardest part to learn coming from a unilevel, because we don't do this in unilevels. So this part is straight unilevel. But when you sign somebody up, we have to do 2 things here. When you sponsor them, they're first generation to you on your unilevel. I called it levels in my previous company, whatever you call it, first level, first generation. That's where they are. So, but you still now are building the binary too. So you can, anybody you're personally sponsor, you can place at the bottom of an entire leg, 300 people deep, and give everybody the volume, either on their power leg to strengthen it, or even sometimes it lands on somebody's pay leg. And so you're helping everybody, but you're the sponsor, not them. So anytime you sponsor somebody here for life, and this is the crazy part, probably the main reason I'm in this company, this was the page that triggered me, because my sister sponsored me in the previous company, and when my check was $250,000, she was making about $3,000 a month. And it's the story of our industry. You know, we all know that the zeros find the heroes here, meaning the people that hardly do anything are the ones that bring the Michelles to the table. It's just the way it works. It's the strangest thing. Or it didn't happen this time, because Cynthia is really good at this business. But most of my great leaders have literally been brought to me, and that's the only person they ever signed up. And I go connect with them and build them. So this foolproofs it, because if you hit one person here, you can become a millionaire. One. And here's how it works. There is no breakaway. There is no minimum and there is no maximum. And we are the only company in network marketing, until somebody proves me differently, because I've studied them all, that does this. Everybody else has a breakaway system attached to it, where when leaders catch you, they're going to move on and you're not going to get it anymore. Doesn't exist here. So anybody you sponsor, you get a 15% match for life on their base pay. If they make $1, you get 15 cents in your check, and it'll be itemized and you will see it. There is no guesswork. If they make $1 million that year, you get 150,000. There is no minimum, no maximum, and you never lose them. And there is no amount of people that you can't sign up. So if you want to make 15% on 1,000 people's paychecks, you can go sponsor 1,000 people for the next 10 years. But when they sponsor people, it is a 10% match. So that puts them on your second generation. So let's use, so Andrea sponsored Cynthia. Cynthia sponsored Michelle. Michelle, I assume, sponsored Sheila. So just kind of look at that in that direction. You can kind of see how it's all working. So personal sponsor, 15%. But when Cynthia sponsored Michelle for Andrea, Michelle's now 10% because it's second generation. Cynthia's 15% for life. So if Michelle makes $1 million next year, Cynthia gets 150,000 and Andrea gets 100,000, and so forth. And then Michelle gets to do that on her team. Third generation, it's a 5% match. Now, here's the craziest part of all. We have to qualify for this. But if a person gets gold status, and you can do that by going ultimate or by sponsoring 4 people with an auto ship in your first 8 weeks. They don't have to keep it. They just have to have it one time. Either way works, ultimate or sponsorship. If somebody doesn't make it, Brent can always open up a door and help them make it. There's nobody that can't make gold status. Like, Brent will always get it done. He's got the power to do that. So will you. The company wants people to be there. But if you get gold status, you unlock the first 3 generations for life. The second story I'm going to tell you is my first vacation with the company. I met this lady named Ping Shi from Michigan, and she's been on every vacation I've ever been on since then. And she always comes and finds me. She can hardly speak any English. She just got the beautiful smile, about 60 years old. Her husband is a professor at the University of Michigan. They hosted a 19-year-old exchange student from China. And when she turned 21 and went home, that was the only person that Ping Shi ever sponsored into this company. So she only gets first 3 generations. But that little 21-year-old girl went back and became the #1 earner in China until a girl she signed up passed her up at $2 million a year. So Ping Shi, when I first met her, about year 3 for her, she was already making $450,000 a year only in this area of pay. She got no base pay. She had no binary action going on, only here. I don't even know what it is today. No telling. And then 4, 5, 6, and 7 is at 5%. You do have to build a second leg to open that up, because you have to make $500 in base pay for them to kick in the 4th generation, 1,000 for the 5th, and so forth for 6 and 7. So the illustration you see there is based upon everybody making $100. So if you signed up 4 people that made $100, that's $400 in income times 15% is $60. If they go find 4 people for 16 and make $100 each, that's 1,600 times 10% is $160. So that math there is just based on a 4x4 progression and everybody making $100 on a Friday on a paycheck. 2 free vacations a year. Our big one is the global vacation. It's a little bit harder to win. It'll be very easy for you ladies. It'll be next year's trip will be announced sometime in February. And I assume it's going to be pretty close to the same. I don't know that though. But this year, you had to make $25,000 more than you did last year. So for anybody starting at 0, you just got to go make $25,000 in 12 months. Well, who can't do that if you're moving a team over, coming as a leader? It's the easiest thing you could ever do. I've got new people that don't have any experience that did it. And then $45,000 for 2 tickets. So if you're going to carry a spouse or a friend with you, you got to make $45,000 and to win 2 tickets. It's about a $12,000 cost to the company. This year, you can see there, we're going to fly in, spend a night on the island, and then 7-day cruise over there, and then another day on the island. It's like a 10-day trip total over there. And then we have a North American trip, which brings a whole nother way we get paid into play. I'm not going to cover today, but every single thing you do that makes your business grows creates what we call e-wallet money for you, meaning free money. You can't get it as cash, but you can use it for free product or redeem for vacations. And for new people, like Brent had $50,000 put into his e-wallet account his first year here because he moved a team and he was competing against zero. So it just lit him up. And so he's got free vacations basically for life with the company or free product, whatever he wants to use it. And so the Bahamas trip is our North American. We just got back from Puerto Vallarta. That was last year's trip. So this is May, and you've got you're running out of time. It's going to getting kind of hard to win it now, but if y'all move teams over, you absolutely could. So you got to get $3,600 in e-wallet money, and I would venture to say if you could create about 12 to 15,000 in regular pay, you would have the $3,600 in your e-wallet based upon that, without going into the explanation of the 10 ways we get it, because it'll just confuse you. And that's it in a nutshell. Other than questions that you want to ask.
Anybody got any questions for Coach? And one thing, we've been on some Zooms, so we've went over the comp plan kind of interactively, but being able to put this in front of everybody, I know is helped them dramatically. Has anybody got any? Janelle, anybody got any questions? Y'all are good?
And I will say again, listen, it doesn't ever delight me, even if you were on my team, it never delights me that a leader has to change a company. Like, shame on our industry, because we're the greatest industry in the world, and so many owners keep screwing it up. Like, that's the reason I feel like we found the unicorn, because the comp plan is important, but my belief in Darren and John, and listen, I'm 22 years in. I arrive highly skeptical. I've seen too much over my 22 years. These dudes are the real deal. And they are the perfect combination, because you got Darren with crazy traditional business smarts that has a crazy deep pockets. And you got John that's been a full-time network marketer since he was 19 years old, building from scratch. So you just could not dream of a better combination. The other thing that really, like you're going to love them. I know some of y'all are going down there. You're going to love them. Like, they are so humble. They're just great human beings. But I've been doing this too long. I've seen money change people. I've seen stage time change people. If you've been around the industry, you've seen the same thing. And I've seen them change good people. And I don't mean they become bad people, but that changes them, because their life becomes very different. And I think everybody has to go through that a little bit. I mean, I shared with you, I bought things I probably shouldn't have bought when I started making a lot of money compared to a high school football coach. So I'm not saying I'm exempt from it, but I have been through that valley and come back on the other side now. So John and Darren are wealthy. Like, they already were living. You'll see when you go, they were already living in $10 million plus houses before they bought this company. Like, they already live in a subdivision that probably has a $4,000 a month HOA attached to it, which you'll be behind those gates the whole time you're there. Yeah, we kept going around to all these different beaches down there, and I'm like, holy cow, where are we at? And we're still in the country club. It's all fenced in. Like, everywhere we went was behind these gates. And pickleball and tennis courts, bring your stuff, Michelle, because I'm telling you, they live the life down there. And when I first met them and they said they were not going to move to Salt Lake, it bothered me a little bit. Like, how are you going to run a company remotely? But they went out and started hiring stupid, smart people. Again, something I have not seen a lot of times in this industry. We get really dumb people hires in our industry. I don't know why owners do that, but they do. And like Katie, who you're going to meet, and I speak very transparently. At the risk of hurting people's feelings. But Katie's the best person I have ever seen in her spot. I have never seen anybody in 22 years without ownership as good as she is. She is a owner. But she's now, I don't even really know her title, like global president in charge of all the general managers, but she's so accessible. And my favorite thing about her, she's great communication skills. Everybody you put in front of her, she will never miss them. But my favorite thing about her is her follow through. This is where all the general managers let me down into time, is most of them don't follow through all the time. And I know why, because as soon as they hang up for me, they got 3 other leaders asking them for something. And by the time they spend 14 plates, they forgot the first thing that got asked. So I don't know how Katie does it, but she minute, I'll give you a great example. I've got this lady down here that's made $150,000 her first 8 months. She ended up in our top 10 power rankers. And, but she doesn't plug in. She doesn't even understand network marketing. She just sold a bunch of skinny drops and connected me to a bunch of really good people. And when we went and built it, she didn't even come to the meeting. She has no idea what we do. But she does not belong on the Partners Council, which if you get in the top 15, it's kind of a shoe-in. But I've got people, or Brent has people just outside the top 15 that do belong in. So this is like a conversation we had a month ago when we were going through different things. I was like, was like, Katie, I said, like, she don't know what we do. She couldn't handle a partner's council call. She can't get on it. But she has somebody in her downline that did get on it who hasn't made as much as they have. She has, but they deserve it because they understand they're almost full time at what we do. And I was like, Katie, I can't tell her that. She won't take it the right way from me. She said, oh, no, Todd, I'll call her. That was a month ago. And they finally started making the phone calls yesterday, telling people that made the partners council. So today I get this social media thing from her, like, I just got a call from the owners of the company. So she's actually recorded the call and posted it as a positive. Katie calling her and telling her she didn't make the partners council and explaining to her that, you know, that would have never, I have never had somebody in that position that would have followed through and got that done and been effective at it where she thought it was a positive, not a negative. So, and that's the kind of people they're hiring.
That's very, very refreshing to hear, Todd. You have no idea.
Trust me, I do. Trust me.
Yeah. And the
Sorry to
point,
say,
and
I do. I feel
the
so
point
sorry
that I've
for you.
made to
I'm
all
very
these
sorry for you.
leaders, Todd, is you said something about egos. We all remember, or I've probably been in the company, I think the longest of everybody, but I remember Katie Rodin on the stage saying, there's going to be a lot of money made in this company, ladies. And there were a few men, but leave your ego at the door. And that was a big problem with Rodin and Fields. A lot of people never left their ego at the door. You know, I'm not going to say it ugly, but these girls know you guys are making the kind of money that we only dreamed about in Rodin and Fields. These gals were making probably $400,000 and $500,000 a month, but they've never seen what y'all have seen. So that's something that these girls needed to know, is that if you want the big money, and they do, this is where we want to be.
It is a home. And I tell, anytime I talk to a leader that, I'm like, don't come here for quick money. Come here if you want to make it a home. Because like I don't have time for people coming and raping and pillaging because Brent and I work cross-line together, and it's very dangerous when you do that. It just takes one rogue person to screw us both up. But we're both good at it. And we both, although we're very nice people, very loyal people, don't get on our bad side. We will confront you. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm just saying,
Good.
Britt and I have gone after a few people over
right.
the last 4 or 5 years that tried to go rogue on us.
Yes.
Like y'all, I never suggest going back and raping and pillaging Rodin and Fields. I mean, there might be somebody
Right.
there, but like that, like everybody that ever joined network marketing was given hope for a minute. And the last thing we ever want to do is destroy that hope. So you have to be very etiquette about how you do those kinds of things, because even the people that come, you'll leave some people behind that will be damaged for life.
Yeah. Well,
I think what was hard at, I'm sorry,
ahead.
somebody else may want to say something.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
going to say something then. I think what I really believe was that we actually had founders. Our founders were actually, I believe, just like what Darren and John sound like. But at some point, I think the problem was the corporate people that came in. They weren't network marketers, and they tried to run us like a retail corporation and not a network marketing. But in the meantime,
was it going to be a good
we
fit?
end up getting sold. So I think it's that thing about that's how we started, and we're sad that it didn't stay that way. But the owners now with us don't have any say. They're out of pot. I mean, they're just not the ones. And so it's, to me, what I've come to say is that it's not the same Rodin and Fields that I joined 13, 14 years ago. Unfortunately, it's not the same. So it's encouraging to hear. We heard the word legacy. We're going to be a legacy company, that was the doctor's intention. It really was. And their intentions were right, but they don't have control anymore. And it's affecting every single rep in the company. So I appreciate your approach. I appreciate your honesty. I have come to understand and know that y'all really do know what we're feeling and how hard it was to make a change.
Crazy hard. But
I can tell you this, I will bring that same passion and that same love to this.
Well, what I wanted to piggyback off of that and say is that
I love that you were talking about the loyalty aspect of this, because of everybody on this call, we've all been with Radiant and Fields more than 10 years. So we are not here to jump and flip over like a pancake, because we've never done that. Whether anybody has done direct sales prior to Radiant and Fields or not, I have not. That was my first company. And honestly, the one that I thought I would be with forever. So to appreciate your sentiments, and all of you so far have understood where we've been and how difficult and emotional truly it is.
It
It's
becomes your
tough.
identity. Like, it's more than a business, it's your identity. That's what happened to me in my first company.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't lose my business and my paycheck. I lost my whole identity. Like, I had to restart my whole life over.
Well, thankfully, we're not at that point, but we see the writing on the wall, and we can tell the changes that have occurred over the last few years. And we all need the income. And so we don't want it to drain down to nothing before we go and find something else. So
Smart.
I appreciate
should have did that
all
the
of your
first time,
support.
and I didn't.
Can I say something, Sheila?
Girl, yes.
Okay. Hey, Todd, I really appreciate you. My name's Janelle. I'm not sure what my screen name says on Zoom, but
It's Janelle now. You're good.
okay. I am super grateful. You know, God's timing is something else, I'll tell you. I don't really understand how he does that, but he does. And he seems to do it every time. But I just want to say this. I'm a math teacher by trade, formerly. And when you were talking about numbers like that, I think that is what we have all tried for a decade, create for our families. And so you painting the picture of what's possible is refreshing. And I know Brent and Andrea have done an amazing job for us over the last couple of weeks, really trying to paint that picture. And I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. Yeah, today is real. Today is raw. And I'm late to the call, and I'm so grateful for this call. I was late to the call, and I'm just gonna be really transparent because I was on the phone with legal with Rodan and Fields, and I got all the answers I needed today. So we are here to build generational wealth, and we are here to partner with you, and we are not going anywhere. And thank you for welcoming us to the team.
Y'all are going to be awesome.
So
I can see your spirit. Y'all are really good.
I'd like to jump in also. My name is really Sandy, not Jamie on the screen. And I am number 7 in Rodan and Fields. So I bring home a lot of money. And so I'm still trying to process what you said about 2 legs and then 3 legs. So I'll be reaching out to Michelle and them to really try to get this figured out. But
Ask me real quick. Don't leave here not understanding. I mean, we can sometimes fix the not understanding in 2 seconds.
So I'm
Okay.
more of a business builder than I am a product seller.
Okay.
So,
Me too.
but I need to know what's going to be the best avenue for me to take. So,
So-
yeah, let me screenshot that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
go
we
ahead.
can send this PowerPoint to all of y'all too. Brent's got it, I think, or he's got at least a version of it.
I've got it, and I'll send it. I'll send it when it's over to everybody, or send it to Michelle. Michelle can get it out. Andrew can get it out to everybody.
So the hardest part of this whole compensation plan, coming from a unilevel like y'all were a part of, like I was a part of, is understanding that the unilevel and the binary are running in conjunction with each other, but they have no correlation. So the binary aspect of it, and you guys are leaders. So you and Brent and Andrea and Cynthia and Michelle, y'all are all kind of plan out how y'all are going to start. I generally start almost everybody with 3 legs. I do have a leader coming, and we finalized last night. He's going to start 5 legs. I've never done that before. I don't know how it's going to work out, because you do lose your ability a little bit to stabilize people, because we all know everybody's not a leader, and some people need a little stability to get going. And the more you can drive that initial growth under people. So the greatest thing about a binary that I'd never understood before was the ability to put volume under other people constantly, not just you, but it's an army of people always stacking volume at the bottom. And when you do that, you really stabilize them. So you're going to have a lot of people. It'll be random. It won't happen for everybody, but you're going to have some people that really score because of y'all that will end up with a power leg. They won't even waste people on it. Everybody they put in will be pay legs. So the wider you go, the less ability you have to do that. But obviously the wider you go over time, the more money you're going to make. So that's what you're playing with in your mind. I love 3 because I think you can get into a, $400,000 or $500,000 a year income with just 3 legs, get those things moving, and then start leg 4 and 5 even before they're maybe completely optimizing. But again, on this area, every transaction that occurs in your organization to unlimited depth, doesn't matter if they're 10,000 people deep in Czechoslovakia, it does not matter where it occurs. When a transaction of any kind occurs, you're going to be paid 15% of that transaction to unlimited depth on every leg you ever build, but the biggest. I mean, there is nothing more or less to it. That's how it works every single week. It checks it on Friday night at midnight, and they run commissions on Tuesday, and they pay you the following Friday.
So is your goal to try to keep all of your legs even?
Your goal is to get every leg eventually doing 13,334 a week, because that's where the bonus money kicks in. So again, if I'm spread between 5, then I'm slower ever getting any legs into bonus money. But if I start with 3 and kind of get them growing, so you don't want to get 3 all the way to 13,334 weekly before you start leg 4 and 5. But you're going to see when you look in your back office, there's going to be 2 things it's going to show you. It's going to show you volume for the week, but it'll also show you carryover volume. So on your biggest leg, when you get paid, whatever volume you got paid on will subtract from whatever the number the power leg was. So let's just use easy math. You can see the power leg there in blue is 13,334. Let's say forget what you're seeing. Let's just say you got paid on 10,000 volume. You'd make 15% times 10,000 or $1,500, and then 10,000 would subtract from 13,334, and it would carry over to the following week. Don't have to remember that. I skipped that on purpose the first time through because it sometimes gets you bogged down on stuff that you don't have to learn today. But nonetheless, it's going to carry over. But I don't like looking at that number, making the decision I'm about to tell you. So I don't look at carrier volume. Making the decision to start a new leg is based upon weekly new volume consistently. And you can look at the different weeks to allow you to go back and look for years of all the volume every week that's occurred. So when I see a leg doing, matter of fact, I just started a new leg in October, and the last 3 weeks in a row, I've been between 5,000 and 7,000 a week. So and I'd put people under that leg. Like I've been just driving underneath that leg the whole time, but it stabilized 5,000 to 7,000 weeks where it's ranging. So now I'm free in my mind to start another new leg. And because I've got enough quality people there that if I just continue working with the people I've already put in, I can drive that on to 13,334 a week and not waste my new people. I can go ahead and start them on a new leg. So that's my personal number, but that may not be Brent's or y'all's, but 5,000 to 7,000 a week is what I want to see a leg doing for at least 4 to 5 weeks before I'm going to go waste somebody on a new leg.
I
Yeah,
have 2
Todd,
questions.
I'll add to that. A lot of you've heard the system and understand Todd and myself. I mean, Andrew, we all built at high levels with just opportunity. I mean, opportunity focus, not selling product. What I love about the system of growth is it hits all levels of the compensation plan. And so what I tell people too, going back to what Todd just said, is when I have 10 people in a line that is running the system of growth, meaning they're making the post, they're doing their things, and they're active, I'm probably going to optimize that line of business. So if somebody comes to me and goes, what am I looking for? I'm looking for 10 active people in a line of business that's running our system of making posts twice a day. Then through their purchasing power and leveraging volume, you're going to see that leg start to optimize. Andrew has seen it. We've all seen it.
I want to tell you one last thing, and I've got to zoom. I've got to hop over to it 3 o'clock, 3 minutes for me. But I know y'all are builders. I heard one girl say that, which one said it, but I know y'all are all builders. You can't make big money selling products only. You got to build. So y'all are all builders. I'm only a builder. I am not a seller. And I've never even been that keen on social media. But this skinny drop system is times 10 the best thing I've ever seen in 22 years. And it is for two reasons, because I was missing a lot of people because I was always showing them they had to build, they had to invite to a living room. But man, there is a crazy amount of women that sit around out there that can sell skinny drops on social media all day long and make $1,000, $2,000 a week and drive volume. But here's why I love it as a builder. It's the hottest pipeline I have ever seen, meaning that I'm always available to Zoom for anybody on my team or anybody's team, but I'm always on standby to help them show somebody the plan if they're not ready to show it themselves yet. And when they invite people, you know, it's a 60, 70% conversion rate generally if I'm there. But on the skinny drop system, because they've already bought the drops, they already have a good experience. And now we're just inviting them in to get a discount and save money. Well, every woman on planet Earth wants to save money. We don't scare them away with a business and a launch party next Tuesday. The women that scares. And all of a sudden, we're converting now, like, I want to say it's more than 90%. I hardly ever get a no on a conversion. So, and some of those people are now becoming great builders that I would have never gotten had I not caught them in that skinny drop system. So, like, don't discount it if you're a builder. Use your building mind and then apply it into that system. But now I'm not, Brent posts a lot more than I post. If you follow my social media, I'm horrible on social media. I do a lot of attraction marketing, but I'm not posting at 9 and 3 every day selling skinny drops. I don't even have time to return their messages. I mean, it's just not time in my day to do it.
Coach, thanks for
Brent, do
jumping
you
in.
have to get off?
I know you got another Zoom, so we'll let you all. Thank you
Can't
so
wait to
much.
get to know all y'all. Y'all be
Thanks,
blessed.
Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Appreciate you,
Hey,
Todd.
Thank you, Todd. So appreciate
Hey,
you.
Brent, do you
I'll
need to
stay
go?
around just a second. Yeah. I wanted to go ahead, Sheila.
All right. What are the parameters that have to be in place in order to qualify for and I may not have the terms correct. What are the parameters to get matching bonus that is where you get paid on the first 3 generations? What has to be in place that kicks that in?
You have to hit ultimate in your first 4 Fridays.
And that's it?
So what our compensation plan, we've when a new brand partner enrolls, if you were to say, what's your number one priority in their first 4 Fridays, remember 4 Fridays, people will say a month. 4 Fridays will save you a lot of headache. So in their first 4 Fridays, when we drive them to 1,500 in volume through their own personal orders, through us leveraging volume to them, through them attracting customers inside of the, if they were to send a smart link or anything like that, 1,500 points will get them to ultimate status. When they get to ultimate, the company will automatically promote them to gold status too. Gold status is what unlocks matching check. So,
okay.
The gold status, as soon as you hit ultimate, you're also going to be gold, and gold is what allows you to initially get 3 levels of match check. And then to get a 4th level, you've got to make $500 in base pay. To get a 5th level, you got to make $1,000 in base pay. To get a 6th level, 1,500, and then 2,000 for the 7th level. So that is kind of the direction of match check. And one of the reasons I wanted everybody to hear it from Todd is I want you to hear this from different people. Like you've heard it from me, some of you have. I wanted you to hear it from Todd. We've got the recording. I also want you to hear it when you're convenient or when you feel good about it. I want you to hear it from Cameron Bott, which is one of our presidents over Europe and other markets. He's from Utah, but you'll get it from the corporate side of the compensation plan. The point being is, the more times you hear it, the more times you see it. Everybody has a different way they present it and in a way that it might hit home to you. And as people are attracted to us, I should say, let me say this. If it's another company, let's just say it's Isogenics, you know, if there's a big leader that's like, Isogenics is a great example. I know the owners really well. They have, unfortunately, they have had to give up equity and give up equity and give up equity in the company, not because they want to, because they had to. That now they don't have majority say. They've given up majority. And we've watched companies that do that. Guys, I came from a company that got sold, okay? So I fully understand, okay? But it all comes, I think every company starts out to be a legacy company. I don't think Kmart started out to go out of business. Like, it thought it would be here for the rest of its days, but it wasn't. So in saying that, leaders from Isogenics has reached out. I tell you that to say we can do comp plan simulations that we could plug in volume on Isogenics versus volume with our compensation, not to try to say yours is better, this is better, but to show facts, you know. And another thing I'll say to everybody as we end is, and Janelle alluded to this the other day. She said, I'm so sorry. I was a little rude the first time you ever met me. And I'm like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were, no one wants to go through what you're going through. No one. And so I'm as compassionate, Todd's compassionate, Andrew's compassionate, because we've been there too. And so it's like, I have no problem ever talking to somebody that's got their arms crossed, that's hurt, that feels like something's been ripped out from under them. It's like, no. That's who we want to talk to. And if our home is not the place for them, we understand it. But at least we want to deal with them with compassion and give them what they need and move them along. And so know this, you can reach out to whoever you want to, whenever, and we'll always be willing. And hopefully with the Puerto Rico trip coming up, I'm hoping that the ones that's not able to go is we got a phenomenal, Andrea's booking a phenomenal time with everybody. So I'm excited for you to see that. But I really encourage everybody to do a Zoom, even if you're not there with Darren and John, so you can feel, you can feel them. You can feel their heart and feel who they are. You know, I know that's huge for all of us to buy into things. So we're going to give you what you need as you need it, is my point. I know you got the chance to meet with Katie. She's phenomenal. She's a massive asset to us. We have probably one of the best marketing teams that in my opinion, in our industry, that's decorated. Mark Patterson comes from a wide variety of companies that he's phenomenal on the marketing side. And then I'm going to, when the time allows, and you tell me to do this with Andrea and Michelle, we're going to sit up with Christine, our general manager. You're going to really love Christine McKay. And she's another asset for all of us. So I appreciate your time. I'm just feel so grateful to be a part of this group. And I just look forward to winning your trust day by day by day. So Andrea, I'll turn it back to you and Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. I thought that was phenomenal. And ladies, hopefully that brought some value to you and helped you feel a little bit more comfortable with what we've got our hands on here. And if you guys need anything, just let us know. We're here and we're excited to grow. And we're still on for Sunday, Haley. So they're still doing it. So I hope you can make it. I laughed out loud when I watched you.
We will be in Nashville, Tennessee on Sunday sharing. So I think Michelle's got the flyer. If anybody knows anybody around Nashville that they would like to be in our presence and see this, we'll be happy to share it with them.
If I can get on the road, I'm coming, but it just is getting from there to here, leaving Oxford to Nashville is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But
Be safe. We got it for you if you can't make it.
I know you do.
We'll take
I know you
care
do.
of
I've got several people that I want to bring, but I want to be there when Jelly Roll walks in the door. Okay.
I didn't tell him. You told me to make it a secret.
I'm a jelly
He's coming.
roll.
He's really coming.
I don't have him
I've got
yet.
a man
Okay.
crush.
Madison is friends with him, but not as good of friends as she wants to be before she gets him there. But the child is full of surprises. So Brent, just wait. It might not be this meeting, but it's going to be soon. Okay. We got to get him ready for his 5K. Okay.
Don't make me sing. Save me right now. I got to say this as we get off. My daughter is 17 and she's got a great personality. And so through this snowing event, being stuck in the house, and I'm a go person. And so me and her's been singing, "Somebody Save Me."
I just know you're going to get to share that with him really, really soon. But I have
Absolutely.
one big request because I know lots of feelings are hurt right now. Janelle, I know you've had a rough morning. Cynthia, you know the hearts. I've shared with you the hearts of a lot of these ladies and what they're feeling and they're hurt. Would you say a prayer for us? And Brent, if you have to hop off, and Andrea, how much time do we have? Because I just want Cynthia, I want them to hear Cynthia pray for them, even though Cynthia doesn't know them. I've shared with her my situation. I know that Cynthia hears from God. So I know she's about to jump out of her seat to do this, but I just think some hearts would be really, really touched. Cynthia, if you would just pray over them.
Okay. Well, before I pray, I know we're getting off. I just want to say it's so nice meeting all of you and seeing your faces, and I'm just so excited and feel so fortunate to be a part, to hear your stories and be a part of what we're doing together. So I just wanted to say that, and we'll close it in prayer. Father God, we thank you so much for this time. We thank you for a time and an opportunity like this. We thank you that you're a God that answers prayers. And we just thank you right now for this company, for our wonderful leaders, and the opportunity that's been given and presented. For every person, Father, from the Rowland field side, and every lady that we just have had the pleasure of meet for the first time, I just thank you for them. And Father, I thank you that your word says that you are a mender of a broken heart. So when they have been broken, Father, I thank you that you mend. And I just thank you, Father, that they hear the voice of you, that things are very clear, that they are very comfortable. And I thank you, Father, that they hear things that excite them and help them as they hear your voice. Even though this call is ending, but may it be a continuation of through your spirit of what they heard. I thank you, Father, that you are God that maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. For in the place of sorrow, I thank you that they meet their wealthy place through this opportunity. And we just bless everybody that's put a hand in this for this meeting. And we just thank you, Father, for an open door of goodness. And as they go to their teams and people they need to talk to, I thank you that the way has been prepared for people to hear and respond. We bless these beautiful ladies. We bless Brent and Todd, and thank you so much for everyone that was a part of this. And we thank you, God, that we know that you are a God of increase, and you are a God, Father, that causes the sun to shine. So we thank you for them and everything, and that we pray that their path is smooth in all the things that they put their hand to, and that they prosper in all things. In Jesus' name, amen, and thank God.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
Cynthia.
Thank you
Love
so
you guys.
much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ladies.
Great
Have a
Thank you
report.
all
beautiful day.
so much. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
All right.
Everybody have a great day.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.